Hello, welcome back aboard USS Cod. I'm Cod President Paul Ferrace, and we are in Cod's forward torpedo room, and we're going to talk about the life of a sailor. You know, submarines in World War II were very effective weapons of war, but to be effective, they had to be a home for sailors. In case of the fleet submarine, sometimes up to 97 men for up to 75 days. So to be a home for a crewman means you had to have a place to sleep, eat, go to the bathroom, all those wonderful things. And because the Cod wasn't always in combat, you often needed to go ashore, and you had to have space for your uniforms and personal effects. Well, the fleet submarine is built with a small number of lockers. In fact, behind Evan there is some of our lockers on our port side. Evan, give a sweep over there. Shows people some of the lockers that are built into the hull between the pressure hull framing. Now, there aren't enough lockers for everybody on the boat, so not everybody got a locker, and maybe they even had to share. All right, come on back to me. So during the war, one of the more important workarounds was the creation of what we call bunk bags, and you see them aplenty here in the forward room. In fact, they're found throughout the boat in the enlisted men's berthing spaces. This is a reproduction of a typical World War II fleet submarine bunk bag. It was made out of an early vinyl material. It had four straps to snap around the pipe frame of a bunk, and it had a nice long zipper. And basically what it provided you with was additional storage space for your clothing, personal items, maybe a little writing pad, maybe a pulp novel, maybe some of your personal care items, and certainly underwear and maybe some changes of clothes. They often were used to store dirty laundry while you were waiting to have access to the submarine's washing machine. And yes, in World War II, fleet submarines carried washing machines. And although nobody was doing massive loads of laundry like we do at home today, you could do laundry and you would do laundry, but you may not be able to do it exactly when you'd like to. So you would stow some soiled, let's say, underwear, socks, or in this bag. And that was certainly a wonderful way to get additional storage space. However, using this solid, non-breathable vinyl material provided some problems. Say, I'm going to open this one up, and inside, there's some underwear. I should probably have a priest or a cardinal here to handle this because it's pretty holy. But there's some old underwear. Luckily, it's all clean. But let's say we put some underwear in there that was all sweaty and grimy and worn, maybe a few days longer than it should have, and we've got to wait 3-4 days before we can get access to the laundry machine. So if I zip that stuff up in here, this non-breathable vinyl material, when I go to unzip that and pull the contents out, my shipmates around here might not be too appreciative. So after World War II, and I would say by 1955, the Navy introduces this style of bunk bag. Now, it's a little lighter color, but this is a breathable mesh. And this is turned around so people don't flip it open and dig around in here. But being the skipper, I can do that. And again, a nice big zipper, socks, and there's a pair of dungarees in there. Again, all clean. This made a whole lot more sense because that's breathable, and whatever's inside there isn't going to fester while you're waiting to get it to the laundry. That certainly was a much better idea. And most of our submarine veterans that are on the smoke boats are familiar with this. Now, this is an actual one. This is not a reproduction. We often get some of these. For our period correct loadout, we really don't want these because we're presenting Cod as she was in her period of service. But because these fleet boats were in active service well into the 60s. These were common. So we put these up when a veteran passes, and the family will donate this. And sometimes the guys put their names on them while they were in service. So we have a few tribute bags around the boat. So this is the improved version. And they not only saw service on the fleet sub, but also if you had shore leave, let's say you were going to be away from the boat a few days, the sailors told me that this became your travel luggage, your overnight bag. So you would snap the first and last tabs together, and then you would crisscross the two center ones to create a nice little tote bag for you to carry when you're ashore and maybe staying somewhere at the YMCA or with friends or family. That's your little bit of travel luggage. How smart is that? Now, in 1954, we commissioned USS Nautilus, the first of our nuclear submarine fleet. And within a few years, we have a growing number of nuclear submarines. And nuclear submarines are radically different in many ways, not the least of which is the fact that they're not quite as greasy and grimy as the old smoke boats were. So the Navy, starting in the 60s, starts to introduce the final version of the bunk bag. This model, made out of white ballistic nylon, snow white. It has the tabs. It has not a zipper, but it has a snap closure and like an envelope closure. And of course, there's a jumper top and, again, more underwear. But even though nuclear submarines are cleaner environments, they're not devoid of any mess. In fact, this one came to us from a nuclear sailor, and I don't know what created those stains. And we have one that is absolutely pristine white because it was new stock, never used. This one was used by a sailor. So maybe if any nuclear submariners can comment in the comment section, tell us what likely would have made the stains on this one. Now, it's brown, no jokes, no snide remarks. Someone said they believe it's shoe polish, but a brown shoe, I thought they all wore black shoes, or tennis shoes with their poopy suits. Hopefully that has nothing to do with poopy suits. But anyway, that's our third version, and that is something that, frankly, we are losing the history of, because very often our submarine veterans who served on smoke boats know all about these, and they don't know anything about these. And of course, hopefully, we still have a lot of submariners who are very much aware of these things. So there you go. That's the history of the submarine bunk bag, and again, a way to modify your environment to make it that much more habitable. So remember to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and Evan and I will be back with some more interesting content about submarines. Thank you.